And then when I got out of the Army, I decided I'd been inside a hospital long enough and decided to go into consulting. And because I had been very active in my professional societies while I was in the Army, I would sometimes spend my own money, sometimes the Army would send me to a conference, but I volunteered on committees. So I ended up finding a little niche in quality assurance in nuclear medicine and became very involved in some programs related to that. So these were programs to help people do things better, whether it's how you perform a procedure, how you report the procedure, how your facility does these things on a day-to-day basis. That focus for me ended up giving me a chance to get to know people around the country who had the same interest. Then when I was transitioning out of the Army, they already knew me. They knew the kind of work I did because of my work on the committees, that if I said I'd do it, I would do it. I would get my work in on time. That they knew the quality of the work. And because of that, there were people who were also in industry who were like, oh, you're available. I've got a project I think you could help us on. So I transitioned into a natural fit into consulting, which gave me the chance to work. Now, I had an Army retirement, so I could be flexible. I had health insurance because of my Army retirement. So the nice thing was I could pick and choose, and I didn't have to work for people I didn't want to work with. I didn't have people working for me I didn't want to work with. When I left the Army, I said, I don't want to have to hire, fire, supervise, or evaluate anyone. I don't want to deal with personnel things. So I did my own thing for people that I wanted to work with. Sometimes the consulting was medical technical things, sometimes it was equipment related. I ended up consulting with one company that was developing an imaging device to look for breast cancer that was light-based, so it was an optical system, which isn't nuclear medicine at all. But I ended up going there to do some what they call expert reading. So they would show images and you'd interpret them based on what they told you about the technology. And the head of the R&D side of this very small company basically went to the CEO after they talked with us for the day and we did our thing. It's like, we found her, can we keep her? And they ended up bringing me in to work with the engineers because I could speak engineering and I could speak medical. So I could translate between the two worlds. To me, these are all language skills. Engineering is a language. When you pick your specialty, that's your dialect. Medicine's the same way. Surgeons have different dialect than internal medicine than imagers. Law's another dialect. They're all languages, because if all you do is talk to engineers, it's like what if all you do is speak English? Yeah. Even if you take a class in another language, until you immerse, it's not the same. And so with interdisciplinary, you get that chance to do more immersion across disciplines. And that gives you that little bit of a leg up, because out in the real world, unless you're very pigeonholed, which sometimes people are, but the people who rise to the top generally have branched out some more, because maybe they combined engineering with management, or engineering with human relations, or whatever combination happens to be gives you that ability to reach across.